episode, we are going to take a look at a toy haul that I got and talk about one of the most awesome stores I have ever been to. So, stick around. Hello, fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. My name is Rob, and in this episode, like I mentioned, I was lucky enough to visit a store that I think is one of the most awesome places I have ever been. And I was able to score some really awesome 80s toys, and one more recent toy, but mostly 80s action figures. So we will talk about the store and the area, which was awesome in its own right. And we're just going to do a quick glance at these toys because we'll go into them in detail down the road. So firstly, if you happen to live anywhere in the south, east, central PA area, I definitely say you need to go check out Lancaster Troll Market. Now, this store caters to dorky endeavors across the board. And I have to say, I can't even give a full review of this store because it wasn't until I was done perusing the store majority that I noticed that there was a whole nother area that had gaming supplies, books, comics, I think video games, a little bit of everything. So I can't comment on that until my next visit, which I definitely will be doing. But the store as a whole is something I have never seen before. Just to give you a quick rundown, it is very medieval themed, Renaissance fair-esque, very much in line with the whole D&D aesthetic. So much, in fact, that they had a room that you could rent for gaming. And yeah, that might not sound like a big deal, but hopefully I can find a picture online and I'll put that up. But they had this immaculate table in the middle with a glass top, and under it were skulls and other various bric-a-brac. The piping of this old building that they were located in, or that they are located in, was done up to look very steampunky on one side. I mean, it looked like a, mishmash of different genres within that fantasy setting, but it had this overall appearance of like a war room in a fantasy novel or movie or your D&D campaign. Very cool. But how the store was set up was something I've never really have seen before. Like, a perfect example would be like the shelves that they had throughout, like little kiosks, if you will. There was one that was Vikings, and they had everything from your plastic Viking helmets, that are kind of for the kids, or, kind of that touristy or, party atmosphere kind of thing. They had, like, decorations that looked like, relics with runes etched in them. And they had this vintage Ravel Ghost Viking ship, mint in package, up there as well. So they had the retro mixed with the new, mixed with antiques and antique-y looking decorations and items, all within kind of the genre or category. That goes for like Lord of the Rings, dragon stuff, Cthulhu and paranormal ghost stuff. And lo and behold, I wander into the back room that was all vintage toys. Now, the toys I think are some of their own that they're selling, and some that they are kind of consigning out to a company or shop called Retro Splat. Now, Retro Splat, after looking into it a little bit, is mostly an online entity that focuses on eBay sales, but they have a few locations, 3 I believe, that are, in antique malls. And this place, which is kind of like a consignment thing, I would assume. But great store, great place. It was huge. If it wasn't just so darn cool, I think I would be overwhelmed. Because, even in the front windows of this place, which is kind of in a business building in Lancaster, its storefront, in the windows on one side are really immaculate 3D printed helmets and swords. And on the other side are like these beautifully painted D&D miniatures done up in a, battle campaign. And like I said, I was so lost in the retro toy area, which then is adjacent to the miniatures area, which they were even selling like retro and vintage 80s D&D miniatures from Grenadier. Yeah, I was just totally smitten. So I kind of just spent all my time in that area going through all the toys and everything. And looking at the shop as a whole, like I said, it's a little overwhelming. So I didn't even see all that. And like I mentioned, a whole nother area that I didn't get to see. And apparently off of that even is this, I'm sure I'll find a picture online to throw up, a party room that you can rent. They were saying someone was having a birthday party in there at the time, but it looks like an old like it's real, a fantasy tavern. Something that, the heroes of Corinne would have met in, or, the Prancing Pony type of establishment. Super cool. But like I mentioned, even the area itself, around the corner from there was a place called, I believe, the Nerdery. And, this place was right up my alley. It had everything from gaming stuff, which they had books and stuff from Kickstarters that I'd only seen online, in person, that I could flip through. And believe me, there were a bunch I wanted to leave with, but I'd already hit up the vintage toys, so couldn't get too greedy. But D&D stuff, supplies, miniatures, paints, dice, what have you. And Japanese pop culture items. And what I mean by that is, you have hundreds of Gundam models, Pokemon plushes and models and cards, gotcha toy capsules that you could randomly pick. It had a little bit of everything from the gaming and the otaku worlds. And yeah, I was taken away. It was awesome. Both of these places, an eighth of a block away, if you even want to say that. So I recommend hitting those places up wholeheartedly. And I definitely can't wait for a return trip. It's only an hour away from my house, so definitely making the trip many, many times in the future. So without further ado, let's get to the toys that I picked up. And like I said, we're not going to get too into detail with looking at them. So, first things first is the more modern toy that I got. And this is the Scare Glow from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Revelations line. The one based on the Kevin Smith cartoon. Now, if you remember a while back when I did the Scare Glow review for the new action figure, I mentioned that this was a toy I kind of regretted not picking up. It was on the shelf and I walked away from it. So now I got it in my hand. Of course, it's out of package, but very much cheaper than the original sale price. So let's crack him open real quick. And I'm not one to usually mention prices, but I think I will for some of these items. Just because keeping an eye out for Retro Splat due to their pricing structure might be a wise thing to do. So, here we have Scare Glow complete. Comes with his halberd, his extra hands, cloth cape. I mean, he's in great condition, mint condition. Definitely can tell that there were a lot of things the brand spanking new figure got right, but this one is still really cool from a, you know, a reproduction of the classic 80s figure. So that was the first thing I picked up. The next thing I picked up was Atom Power. I'm sure there's a glare on this bag. Now, from the Power Lords line, a toy line I never had a figure one with, but always wanted it. I mean, when this thing came out in 1982, I remember seeing ads for it in like Muppet Magazine and stuff. The one where he's like walking and turning as he's walking. So this is like kind of a dream come true to finally have one. And he was only $8. I mean, he's missing his rifle, but the figure itself is in great shape. I have to look into these legs to see if they're supposed to be this close together. I might have to put a wedge in there and just give it some time for them to space out. Now, I have to say I cheated. I opened this one and then resealed it. Because I just wanted to see, because he was kind of stuck in half transformation. And yes, it was stuck. So I did a little light playing with it, and voila, he's back to fighting form. But getting one of these in my hand for the first time to really see it, it's a darn shame these did not catch on. Granted, he's a little barrel-chested and top-heavy, but the posability is amazing on these things. I mean, we'll talk about that in detail in the future, but to have so much posability for a toy from the early 80s, I find amazing. It's almost like they took a page out of Mego's book to figure out how to make action figures. So anyway, my next one, I'm curious. I haven't opened them yet. I want to see if it works. But John Blackstar. Unfortunately, does not come with his sword. I saw some people are selling 3D printed replicas. I'd go that route just to get one. I'll have to see if I can find a recipe and I can try to 3D print one. Now, he's definitely a little beat up. His rubber band definitely feels like it's seen better days. I just discovered that his arms are glued to the shoulder. Now, I paid $10 for it. Am I still happy about that? Sure. Let's see if the laser light function doesn't work anymore. But there's no rust or anything, so that's a bonus. So I'm sure I could clean him up a little bit, get some of these, the rubber dark points. Heck, maybe I can even bust these glue points and put some pegs and posts and get his arms working again. I mean, for $10, just a little project, not too bad. But that stinks. I wish there was a note on the tag saying it was broken. Like, I saw a Whiplash figure, one of my favorite Masters of the Universe figures growing up, and it was cheap. I was going to jump on it, but I thought, let me take a closer look, and his tail was halfway ripped off. So it definitely is a buyer beware situation to take a look where you can. Of course, I didn't try to pose him in the bag. Maybe I should have, and I would have discovered that, but it might not have deterred me anyway. So next is a toy I had from when I was a kid, and I still have his gun. So this was another $8 figure that I already have the accessory for, so it's complete. And it was a toy I liked. It's from '88, so I mean, I was a little older. But it's RoboCop. The Kenner release, like I said, in 1988, has the cap firing piece on the back. There we go. And, like I said, I already had his gun, so voila. Now his legs seem a little like it was sitting in a box for too long in one position. And another cool thing, his gun actually clipped onto the side. You don't get the cool opening door like on some of the NECA figures nowadays, but super cool nonetheless. Now, this was only $5, and looking online for a loose complete will set you back $100, if not more dollars. So, this is bare bones, no accessories, that maybe I can stumble upon somewhere, even if it's on the 3D printed realm. A toy line that I never had any of, that I always wanted, because I thought they were super awesome. This is Ace McCloud from Centurions. And yeah, I never had these before. I don't think I've ever even played with them in real life. So just seeing this and feeling the heft of it, how big it is, its posability. I mean, look at that. I mean, I guess that works with his flying and stuff, being in one of his things. But bare bones for $5, I think that's a heck of a deal. And this might fit if I Dremel it out a little bit or print a bigger one. But I printed a bunch of helmets off at one time last year, all different sizes. So it's definitely not his or close to it, but it's a cool helmet that I could paint blue to go with him and feel like I'm halfway there maybe. So yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to finally have a Centurion. Maybe I'll stumble upon some of his parts down the road, or find things around the laundry room that work. But super happy to finally have a Centurion in my collection. Now, the next and final one is in box, complete, but it looks like someone opened the box. So I might find a way just to temporarily reseal it, just so it looks a little bit better shaped than it really is. But G.I. Joe Hall of Fame Snake Eyes from 1991. Now, I have a loose one that I picked up at a flea market, really cheap. It came with nothing other than his boot knife. So I always was sour that I never had his Uzi or katana. Now I do. They are mint in the package. I mean, the only thing is, the Uzi does not work anymore. And I'm not sure if you can open these and change their batteries, because I'm sure they're just little watch batteries. So that might be something to look at down the road. But, I mean, the stuff's on the blister here on the cardboard sleeve. Still, even comes with a little field guide or manual or whatever. But, like I said, the top, I mean, it even has the original price tag from Clover's, which I've never heard of. And it looks like he was $19.99. So, I paid $15. So, it's even less than its original price in 1991. So, I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know what the market is on these guys, but for some reason in 91 I was very smitten with them. I had the Grunt, I ended up getting the Destro, I have Cobra Commander, this one, mint in box, that I picked up at a flea market. So I have some here or there, but really happy to get Snake Eyes. I mean, it's Snake Eyes. But anyway, that was just a quick look at what I picked up, and again, I wholeheartedly recommend going to Lancaster's Troll Market in Lancaster, PA. I'll put their info on the screen or maybe in the description so you can find them. I first heard of them on Instagram. They do funny little videos. I mean, heck, I think it was this weekend they're doing a Labyrinth anniversary screening, and they have, I'm assuming, I don't want to talk out of school here, but a local dude that cosplays as the David Bowie character. I was going to say his name, but I feel like I'm going to get it wrong. Jareth, whatever. I mean, and they're having like a little party about it. I mean, that's really wicked. So anyway, check them out. Like I said, they're on Instagram. If you live in the area or close enough to it, it's definitely worth the trip. Like I said, there's another cool store right around the corner. And I'm sure there's even cooler, I don't mean even cooler, I'm sure there's even cool places in the area that we didn't have time to check out because, you know, kids, hungry, it was getting late, they were just ready to go. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them and I love getting back to everyone. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this or any of the episodes YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon or whatever it is nowadays, you'll be notified whenever there's new episodes. So anyway, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Keep being rad and stay dorky.